Okay, so BookTubeAthon Books. Yay! So the first book that I'm supposed to read is a book with blue on the cover. So I will be reading Elf Poseidon by Anna Banks. And this is about this girl who can communicate with fish and runs into a merman. Don't really know much beyond that, but I got it for $5. It was pretty cheap. Sounded cool. I've heard really good things about it. I've had it on my shelf for a little over a year, so I figure it's probably time to read it, and it's pretty blue. The next book is read a book by an author who shares the same first letter of your last name. Literally only one author did, John Green, so I'm going to be reading Looking for Alaska because it's a little bit shorter than Paper Towns. Literally the only reason I chose this over Paper Towns. It's about this guy who's looking for his great perhaps and decides to fall. I'm not even sure if he's going, I'm actually in love with you, or if he just decides she's interested. I'm not really sure. I've heard it's kind of about the Manic Pixie Dream Girl isn't. I'm not really sure what it's about. I've heard that it's kind of trying to get rid of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl sort of trope. So I'm hoping that holds up, but I'm also worried that in an attempt to do so, it actually falls into using that even more than it should. So hopefully all goes well. The next is read someone else's favorite book. So I'm reading the favorite book of someone from my book club. It's Splintered by A.G. Howard. So it's actually, I have started reading this one. I didn't finish it in time for the month that we were reading it for, but it was really good when I started reading it. I'll have to reread the beginning bits because I read it back in October, but it's basically about this like great however many great granddaughter of Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and she can like hear plants and insects and stuff, but it's like Alice in Wonderland with a darker twist, which is awesome. So yes. The next challenge is read the last book you acquired. So I'm going to be reading I Am Princess X by Sherry Priest. It's about, from my understanding, it's about these two girls. They like drew comics together when they were younger. One of them dies in a car crash, and then the other one, when she gets a little bit older, I think it's when she gets older, it might be like a few months later, starts seeing Princess X everywhere and realizes that her friend actually survived the car crash, and then seems to branch off from there. But I've been wanting to read it for a while because, you know, it seems like it's really good, but I actually got it for free because it's an ARC, and so the people at Book Club gave it to me. The next book that I have to read is finish a book without letting go of it. So basically, you need to never put the book down, like even if you go to the washroom or you have to eat supper, you don't necessarily need to keep reading, but you cannot let go of the book. So I decided to read a short one, so I'm reading The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Trubosky. No clue how you say his last name, but basically it's about this kid who kind of is a bit of an outsider, not really noticed, and then kind of him making friends and such. So I've seen the movie, and the movie's really good, and I've had the book on my shelf for over a year, actually almost 2 years now, but I've just never gone around to it. But it's really short, so hopefully I can get done without having to do something where I really should have two hands. The next challenge is read a book you really want to read. So I'm going to be reading Anything Could Happen by Will Walton. This is actually another LGBT plus book. Perks of Being a Wallflower has one LGBT plus character, but this is very high up on my list of things to read and part of my little queer bookshelf corner. But it's about this kid who falls in love with his best friend, and it seems like it's a cute, happy little story, so yay. And then the last challenge is read 7 books. So if I get to this point, probably not very likely, but here's hoping. I'll be reading The Porcupine of Truth by Bill Konigsberg. So this is another one that I got as an ARC from the people at book club. It's about this kid who has to go and live with his father, who's kind of absent and estranged from him. And so he goes to live with his father, but his father's all hung up with like the fact that his dad left when he was younger. And then the kid meets this girl who he's just like, oh my gosh, she's amazing and wonderful and a lesbian. And they decide to go on a road trip to find the grandfather. So it seems like it's a quick read, like not that much writing on a page. So hopefully, if by Saturday I get to the 7th book, I can read this really quickly. Like it's fairly shortish, and the writing's, it's not too much writing on a page, so it should be a fairly quick read, hopefully. But hopefully I get through all 7 books. Here's hoping.